Lego have made a lot of creepy Halloween themed minifigures from across the years, and in today's video we are going to be counting down the top 10 creepiest in my opinion from the collectible minifigures series of sets. So let's get started. So before we start the ranking, I thought we'd just take a look at some non-CMF minifigures that would have made the list. So first of all, we've got Venomized Doc Ock, as this is a really cool figure. Just the way is how the venom's slowly taken over his body, I think it's a little bit creepy, especially when you've got the half and half face smiling on that. So yeah, that's why he's here. We've got the classic Lego skeleton, just because it wouldn't be a Halloween themed video without him. We've got one of these guys from Chima, and well, that face print first of all is enough to make the list. And then also, if you see how his bones and flesh are sort of sticking out with the ice and the armor, I think that is why this minifigure makes the list. Then we have Onigarmadon. That face print or mask piece says it all, the creepy smile, and he would have been even higher if he actually had the forearms and wings like he did in the show. Then finally it's Gultar the ghost, and he's also, because he's a ghost and a skeleton at the same time with nuts and bolts in the back of his head, really just shows how they've sort of combined two Halloween themed minifigures into one with this guy. So in at number 10 we have got the plant guy. Now the reason he is quite low on the list, obviously he's the costume minifigure, meaning he's not as scary as some of the other ones you could see, but the reason he's on here is the thought of this minifigure could also be saw as this is actually just a plant and he's just being eaten alive by it and he's trying to scream out for help. Yeah, the printing on this guy is really nice with the side leg printing wrapping around the vines. But yeah, with that face just screaming as if he's just being eaten by a giant Venus flytrap, I think it's a pretty valid expression to be feeling, especially with the context behind it. Also, considering the tongues on there as well. Yeah, overall it's a very nice minifigure and worthy of the list. Next up, we've got a minifigure from this year, and it's the Boogeyman, I believe, from the CMF from January, series 27, I believe. The reason he's on here is just that giant creepy smile, sort of similar to the Onigarmadon that I showed off earlier. The dark red eyes just a sort of piercing, alongside the horns as well, very nice. He doesn't have much torso print, just a bit of fur on the front and a little bit on the back as well. No arm printing, but yeah, so also how massive his head is, it's just pretty big in comparison to the rest of the figure. Like, look at that, it's almost as tall as him, which adds to the creepy factor of this minifigure. Now, on a similar theme to the Boogeyman, we've got the Yeti. Now, the reason this guy's on here is I think he's just a scarier version of the Boogeyman. I think, first of all, just the stern face makes him a little bit more intimidating. And also the printing is a lot nicer on him. And I do just overall prefer the colours. I think the white and light blue go really well together. But yeah, so you could really imagine this guy just lurking out in the mountains, ready to jump out at any explorers who are, well, up there. But yeah, so I think the face print as well, just how small his head looks surrounded by all the fur, really gives an intimidating vibe. Here we have got the Harpy from series 25, I want to say. I believe that's correct. Now, this minifigure's on the list as I think it is a pretty scary minifigure. Like, that face print there is pretty intimidating. But I think the one issue is the colours on this minifigure don't feel too scary, as it's pink, purple and light blue, and even some gold on the hands, which sort of, in my opinion, removes the creepiness factor, just as I feel like brighter colours are associated with more positive things. So that's the one issue this minifigure has, but it is a really nice one. It's also got the weird centaur-like legs, which is very, very weird, the way they bend back all the way but not forwards. Sort of reverse to a regular minifigure. But yeah, this one is pretty cool, so I still think it's worthy of the list. Here we've got the Orc Warrior, and this minifigure is very nice. I love the cape. The cape is just such a tagged look, and you can really tell he's like a warrior who's sort of like maybe even a leader of the what are these guys called? The not goblins, orcs. Yeah, that's what it was. And yeah, so as you can see, he's got some like nice scratch. So he's got scratches on his torso, which sort of makes it a bit intimidating. He's also got this massive jaw, which I think is the scariest part of this minifigure. The custom build with the ears and the two big sharp teeth on the front. Also got straps and his shorts there. All together, just kind of get all these separate parts put together, make quite a creepy minifigure. Now we're in the top 5 now, and we have got the Ghost King from series 19, I want to say, out of CMF. Or it might, yeah, I think it's series 19. Yeah, so this guy is pretty creepy. The main thing is that face, how he's just sort of smiling with like soulless eyes and teeth. Nothing on the back. It is a very nice night minifigure, as you can see. The print in there is nothing too bad. But you could imagine him being in a haunted house and just jumping out at someone as they come down. And I think the ghost-like flame used on the top as a plume, I believe is the right word for that, also really helps the detail, as it just creates more of a ghostly vibe, as opposed to if it was a solid blue, it would feel more human. The colours as well, the sort of the bronze going with the silver and the light blue, all merge really well together to create quite a spooky minifigure. Next up, we have got this guy from the D&D series. I believe his name's it starts with an S, and I think there's a T in there somewhere. So yeah, here he is. I think he's a really nice minifigure. I think the main thing making him a tad creepy here is the accessory he comes with. Now, I've not been showing accessories for the rest of them, but I've had to show it for this guy because it's the classic Lego skull, but in red, which I think is a really nice accessory to come with on a figure like this. And yeah, I think just having him being like a dead wizard, and obviously you can see his rib cage through his robes. Obviously, he's got that very intimidating sort of skeleton-like face, alongside this big dark red cloak with his red detailing underneath. It just sort of gives him an intimidating presence, which I think is very nice on a figure like this. So we are in the top 3 now, and we have got the Apocalyptic Swamp Monster. Now, there was a regular Swamp Monster minifigure from, I believe, the Monster Fighters theme, but I think this guy takes it to the next level, simply just because of the sort of shirtless look that they gave him, with the almost like dungarees with the shorts and the straps on his torso. Just sort of making him more intimidating. The dual molded legs are very nice, sort of matching up with his top headpiece, but taking off the hat, I think you can see why he makes this list. Those eyes are creepy, sort of staring right at the soul. And even with it on, it still is pretty intimidating. He's also got a tattoo there in the middle, which is quite a nice detail, because I feel like that's not something that you could imagine on a minifigure that's not a realistic skin tone. So yeah, I think he is really creepy. And yeah, that face print, that is just nightmare inducing. Now we have got our runner-up, which is the Blacktron Mutant. And he's on the list for a similar reason that this Doc Ock was on earlier as an honourable mention. And that's because the theming of him being just a regular space dude who's been corrupted by a virus or something, or mutated, just creates a really cool aesthetic, in my opinion. I love the light lime green contrast in the white and black, while still somehow matching the Blacktron logo, which I think was a very clever decision. If you also see from his face print there, with one tooth just getting a bit sharper than the others, you can say how he's not fully corrupted yet, but he's very much on the way. The hairpiece also matches this. I think it works as a human or as the mutant, which I think was a good middle ground. He's got the forearm exclusive, or the 2 arms exclusive, should I say. Here's giving him a total of 3. And he's also got the mutated leg as well, similar to the Harpy from earlier. And yeah, it is really cool. It's sort of like an alien astronaut hybrid, which I think is just pretty cool. So now we're here at the number 1 spot. There's only one minifigure, in my opinion, who this can go to. And it is a very recent minifigure. But when I got him, I was just blown away with how detailed and kind of scary he is as well. And that is Werewolf Spider-Man. This minifigure is pretty much perfect, in my opinion. The fact that it's supposed to be just an undead version of the regular Spider-Man suit, I think is very cool and a really unique idea. Because obviously if you take off his head here, you can really start to see the similarities within the torso print. But there is a lot more damage on this one. Obviously, as you can see, the tears sort of just coming out from any angle, including a whole like bit of sleeve and shorts ripped off, and then also one arm is just completely coming out the side. The hair detailing is really nice, but I think here's the scary bit, the face print. The fact it's just a normal werewolf with a tiny bit of Spider-Man's mask on, it's pretty creepy if you ask me. Almost if he's killed Spider-Man just wearing the mask as a trophy, but obviously that's not the context behind this figure here. But yeah, all of these parts put together, even the tail coming out the back, just all the colour, the colours weirdly go well together. Just the brown, the red and the blue as all different molds. Yeah, it just really feels like he's just ripped apart this classic Spider-Man suit to to become a werewolf. So those were my top 10 creepiest Lego collectible minifigures I think they've ever made. Tell me your list in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.